everyone. Thanks for tuning in once again to Queen Ahmadiyyah TV presents More Than Meets the Third Eye. So as you're coming in, please feel free to go ahead and subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so already. Be sure to click the notification bell and click the word all so that you're notified each time the Queen Goddess goes live. Okay, so let's get ready to get into it. So as you can see, I'm not doing a PowerPoint today, people. This is going to be a brief live. I just want to talk to you about, during these trying times that we're going through, and I told you numerous of times, this is in fact spiritual warfare, right? We have to use all of our spirituality. We have to stay high vibrational. We have to be in a higher state of consciousness and be using your third eye. Now, with that all being said, there are many of our friends and family that are still caught up in the matrix, I'm sure. I know there are in mine. We have friends and family who are caught up in the matrix. They refuse to unplug. They don't want to be awakened from the slumber. They are perfectly complicit and complacent, right? And with that all being said, I told you how many of people will be led as sheep blindly to the slaughter. So those who refuse to drink the Kool-Aid, who just don't want to engage in what's going on, who don't want to be plugged into this matrix, you want to separate and elevate yourself. You may find that in the coming days and weeks and months that many of your family and so-called friends will turn their backs on you. You see, the way the propaganda has been spewed from the lamestream propagandist machine, i.e. the media, the way that has been spewed out here, the way they have pushed all of this rhetoric and propaganda, you see, many of people have gotten caught up in that. And so now they're looking at it as us against them, right? They're looking at those who didn't roll up their sleeves as the problem. And it's very interesting, as I said before, that they don't seem to be thinking about how the ones who did get it are also capable of spreading things. So a lot of people will turn their backs on you. I had a family member tell me about a month ago that I was on the wrong team. Told me that I need to get on the team Venom, that I was on the team with no venom, right? And I'm on the wrong side of the fence. So I said, team. I said, there's no teams. It's just everyone making the choice that's best for them. That's what everyone should do, right? And they were like, no, you're on the wrong team. So when I heard them say that, I said to myself, this is exactly what I predicted a year and a half ago was going to happen. I told you all this. When they first started talking about the venom, I specifically told you all I didn't understand how that's going to work when viruses can always mutate. And if they mutate, how do we know the venom's going to work for that, right? For the variants. I told you all that a year and a half ago. I also said that this could cause likely a civil war. I mean, what if the people who take the venom get upset and angry at the ones who don't? Who knows what could ensue? And so now here we have it. As you saw just days ago, I showed you the footage of the protesting and how the people got into fights. The ones who were against the venom versus the ones who were for it. They all got into a fight. It was all just so ridiculous. But these are the things that are happening. This is all low vibrational, people. This is such bad energy. We need to stay above it and elevate ourselves. Antoine says, I love what you do so much. I discovered you 3 weeks ago. You are my favorite YouTuber. I'm black, gay, B1, never a baccoon. Thank you, beloved, for your kind words. And let me tell you something. I'm glad you're not no baccoon, but beloved, I'm not either. So thank you. And I really appreciate your contribution and your kind words. And so with that all being said, right, we want to stay high vibrational because I also told you a year and a half ago when they said only essential businesses would be open. Well, I found it interesting that churches weren't a part of that. I found that very interesting. Now, they wouldn't allow people to go to church and pray and fellowship together. But you see, you could go to the local liquor store because for some reason they thought that was an essential business. But I want you to remember at the time all of that was going on, what did I tell you? I told you that, in fact, they were trying to lower everyone's energy. Because let's not forget about Project CERN. I'm going to have to do another video on that soon, as well as Operation Project Bluebeam. I know I said I was going to do it Sunday, but I got tied up. So I'm going to be talking about both of those later on this week, because I want you to remember Project CERN, right? the biggest machine in the world, when they were talking about they're raising this energy through a black hole, a portal, and all of that, saying they're trying to recreate the Big Bang Theory. Is that really what they're trying to create? Because last time I checked, I could have sworn they were trying to raise some demonic, satanic energy, some type of antichrist energy. And so when they're trying to raise something like that, you know what they need? They need everyone to be on a low vibrational frequency, to be low vibrational, not to be elevating and evolving. They don't want you doing that, you see. And when you're low vibrational, it's better for them to deceive you. And they're going to have a grand deception coming with this Project Bluebeam. Watch what I tell you. So we're going to talk about that later on this week. But here's the thing. You cannot, allow your fears to overcome you. Because here's the thing. The Most High doesn't give us a spirit of fear. Whatever or whomever you call your God, Allah, Yah, Jehovah, Jesus, right, Buddha, whomever you call your God, the Creator does not give us a spirit of fear. That is all given to us by men, by devils, okay? So, the devils, they feed off of fear. And that's why they fear monger. Remember how the whole pandemic first started and all of the lamestream propagandist machine media was just having everybody all scared, everybody out here just running wild, running amok, everybody just, and remember that fake video that they had leaked from China with the people just falling out, spazzing out, having seizures and all that? That was all a part of their fear mongering tactic. And when you get all concerned and worried and stressed and anxious and you're full of fear and all of those things, that lowers your vibrational frequency significantly, okay? And then it starts to pull you away from your connection to the universe, thus pulling you away from your God. This is what they do, because devils, you see, they're very slick. And whenever devils are trying to deceive you, whenever they're trying to tempt you and all of those things, they'll mix lies with the truth to make sure they confuse you. And that's why many of people will be led blindly as sheep to the slaughter, because you see, many of people are looking at the devils and listening to the devils, right? But the problem is they're looking at the devils with their pair of eyes. And you should not be using the pair of eyes when you're dealing with devils. You should always be using your third eye, which I call the first eye. Okay? Remember the allegory in the Bible? If thy eye be full of lights, if thy eye be single, then thy body is full of lights. What does that mean? I told you many times. If thy eye be single, thy body is full of lights. That is because the third eye, the first eye, as I call it, that is your single eye, and the one that shows you other realms, the one that shows you discernment, gives you intuitiveness, the one that allows you to see through the smoke screens and the fog and the lies and deceptions and the deceit and the con games, and straight through the devils. Because when you are using the third eye, when you have activated the Kundalini energy, you are now risen into your God-like self, or your Christ-like self, as some of you may call it. Remember, the energy, the oil, the sacred oil, right? The gift comes from the claustrum. It flows down the 33 vertebrae of the spine. It goes down to the solar plexus, which has the same type of energy as the sun in the sky. Hence, that's why it's called the solar plexus. It then rises up the sacral plexus, goes back up the 33 vertebrae of the spine, crosses the vagus nerve, touches the optic thalamus, which is literally an eye. It is an organ in the center of the head that is shaped like an egg. All right, the optic thalamus. Once that energy touches the optic thalamus, it stops and sits there for 3 days. That's why they say Jesus stayed in the tomb for 3 days. That's where that allegory comes from. It's all pertaining to your Christ-like energy or your God-like energy. So once it stops at the optic thalamus and rests there for 3 days, the whole body illuminates. When the body illuminates, that means your pineal gland has been activated. You are now third eye awakened, not third eye blind like the sheep. And with that all being said, that is why they have the verse in the Bible that says, if thy eye be single, then thy body is full of light. That's why they say you have become enlightened. If you've heard that saying before, and I'm sure you have become enlightened. That is because the third eye has opened and you are now illuminated, because your body literally is illuminated, right? The heart chakra burst open when you have risen the Kundalini energy. Now you can see things as they truly are. You can see past the deception and the con and the manipulation. You can see all of these things. And if you know the truth, and I'm not going to say the truth because we know how YouTube loves to start messing with the channel and all of that. But if you know the truth of the venom, and if you know the plan of the global elitist, and I'm sure you do if you've been listening to the Queen. So with that all being said, if you are one who knows and understands and accepts that, then with it all being said, you have already activated your pineal gland and you have already been using your third eye. Those who call people like us conspiracy theorists, those people are third eye blind. And there's no hope for them. You see, the reason there's no hope for them, no amount of talking, persuading, or whatever that we try to do, that's not going to help them because they've all been bewitched. I'm serious, people. People cast spells with words. I've told you that numerous of times. That's why it's called spelling. So you see, these people who are going against those who refuse to take the Kool-Aid, those people are under a spell. They have, in fact, been bewitched. All right? They can no longer hear the voices of their ancestors and spirit guides calling to them in the distance, saying, wake up, stop what you're doing. They can't hear any of that. They cannot hear any of that. Their thoughts, the things that they believe, come straight from the devils. The devils have clearly deceived them and put them under a spell. And for that, they have themselves to blame. Because you see, they were the people who couldn't think outside of the box. And that is sad and unfortunate for them. You know, I used to try to talk to people like that, and I used to try to give them and feed them information, but they wouldn't accept it. So I stopped wasting my time and energy, and I decided to focus all of my time, energy, and efforts on those who are like-minded, those who are not afraid to think outside of the box, those who don't care when people call you a conspiracy theorist, because we know that many a conspiracy theorists have always said things that were absolutely factual and actual, and they could not be disputed. Because one thing you can't dispute are facts. That's what you can't dispute. You can always dispute opinions, but you can't dispute facts. And so when you have people like Dr. Fauci saying one thing today and another thing tomorrow, and clearly confusing not only us, but clearly seems to be confusing himself, that is the reason some people are hesitant and reluctant. And then when you have all of these Black actors and actresses and NFL and NBA players and rappers and all of these things just coming at people, and comedians just coming at Black people and just going in on us, you have to have a reason to pause and say, wait a minute, what's going on here? How's this all making any sense? When they get so upset and butthurt and bothered, when all you're doing is asking questions. Did you all hear what Don Lemonade said? All the restrictions he wanted placed on those who refused to get that Kool-Aid? Who is he? Who is he to decide the fate of people who don't agree with his narrative? Who is he? Don Lemonade. Right? Because he wants to drink the Kool-Aid. Don't get mad at those who do not. That's all I'm saying. And the thing of it is this. They want to act as though people who don't get the Kool-Aid are putting other people's health at risk. I'm sorry, I just don't know how that makes any sense. Putting other people's health at risk? I would like for them to explain that thoroughly. I would like to sit down and talk to Dr. Fauci and Kill Bill. I would like to sit down and have a discussion with them so they can explain to me exactly how people who refuse the Kool-Aid are a danger to everyone who got the Kool-Aid. Because if you didn't and they did, but you're still a threat to them, I'm sorry, what? What's the point again? They can't make that make sense. All right, that's what they can't do. Queen, I'm convinced even social media platforms want our people ignorant and indeed under demonic spells. Love you dearly. Thank you, Fight for Black, beloved. And I love you, right, Black. And thank you for your insight into the topic and your contribution to the channel. Peace, love, and blessings. Let me tell you something. Absolutely, social media, yes. Social media is the main perpetuator of this BS. Absolutely. Why do you think they ban channels of truth? People who are doing nothing but telling the truth. These people are banned and deemed conspiracy theorists as if they should be somewhere sitting in a corner wearing a tin hat. This is what they do. But they allow the liars to have platforms with millions of followers. This is what they do. But they will shadow ban the truth and terminate the truth and ban the truth, deny the truth, freeze the videos of the truth. This is what they do. So with that all being said, it would be safe to assume that absolutely social media is responsible, in my opinion, for a bunch of misinformation that is put out on a daily. And the fact checkers, that includes them too. Because I told you, go and look up the things that the fake checkers called lies and said it wasn't factual 6 months ago. And then fast forward to today and look up those same points of reference and see if they happened already. And most of them did. So who's really telling lies? Who's really spreading misinformation? Let's just sit back and pay attention. That's all we need to do. Use critical thinking skills and your common sense. Now, with that all being said, I'm going to conclude this broadcast because I have a class at 7. I don't want to be late. But I want to thank you all for tuning in. And remember, stay high vibrational. Don't let people get you down. And when your friends and family turn against you, or they say, oh, you can't come over here. Someone was telling me that one of their relatives said that people couldn't come visit their newborn because they didn't drink the Kool-Aid. Here's what I have to say to that, people. No matter what people tell you, if they don't want to be bothered with you, that's fine. Because here's what you need to remember. Anybody telling you that you didn't drink the Kool-Aid so you can't come visit or see them, and they don't want to be around you, you tell them, because you did drink the Kool-Aid, honey, I don't want to come visit, be around, talk to, or see you. Because you might have one of those breakthrough infections. Tell them that. Remind them. Okay? Because they seem to have completely forgotten. All right? And that's per Dr. Fauci himself. He's the one who said it, right? Didn't he admit that the breakthrough infections would continue to happen and that they could infect other people? So I'm sorry, aren't they equally as culpable with the spread as anyone else? They need to make it all make sense. On that note, I'm going to conclude this broadcast. I want to thank you all for tuning in once again. Please enjoy the rest of this lovely evening. Stay high vibrational, intuitive. Go with your gut feelings, your gut instincts. Do your due diligence and make up your own mind. Don't let anyone encourage you, coerce you, or persuade you to do things that you don't feel comfortable doing. Do what's best for you. If you have a doctor that you trust, talk to your doctor and think things through. At the end of the day, whatever you do, don't cave into fear, right? Because you know what? At the end of the day, these devils can think they're in control and think they're in charge. But the Most High Creator is always, all right? Is always. So remember to keep the Most High first in your life, or whomever your God creator that you call them is. Keep them first in your life. Stay high vibrational, spiritual. Do something productive and constructive. Do not forget to be stocking up on your non-perishable items in case the devils try to stop us from going to get groceries. Okay, the nefariousness of it all, people. Make sure you prepare, have your first aid kit, your alcohol, your pneumonia, your peroxide, right? Not pneumonia, I mean your peroxide, and also your first aid kits with everything you need. There are bandages and all those things, band-aids, flashlights, batteries, matches, lighters, candles, all of these things. And if you can afford a generator, please make sure it's running. But at the end of the day, be prepared and have lots and lots of water stacked up in your house. You need to be stockpiling this stuff right now. Make sure that you have at least enough food and water to last you for 6 months. And that goes for each individual in your house, right? Learn to ration out things and try to eat once a day. I mean, you may as well start now so that you'll be used to it when you in fact have to. And at the end of the day, we're supposed to only eat once a day anyway. That's just the way the natives, our natives, right? That's just what they did. Okay? So make sure you do your due diligence and stay high vibrational. Have conversations with the Most High. He would love to hear from you. Also, don't forget your positive daily affirmations. Don't forget to meditate. All right. And if you have stones and crystals that you work with, make sure you're fully charging them in the sun or under the moonlight. And make sure that when you're working with them, you're manifesting and focusing on the things that you want, not the things that you don't want. Don't be sitting there, focusing on saying, oh, I don't want to be broke anymore. I don't want to be sick. Don't say those things. Those are negative things. And when you put those things out there, the universe doesn't know whether that's something you want or you don't want. So always speak positively, right? Be optimistic, not pessimistic. Rather than saying that, say, I have lots of money. I am doing great. I am healthy, well, and awakened. Say those things. I vibrate high, right? So with that all being said, I wish you all love, peace, and prosperity. I hope to see you all in the next chats, 9 a.m. in the morning for your morning wake-up call. Enjoy the rest of this lovely evening, Royal Family, and I will talk to you all again soon. And remember, I've got my third eye on you.